So today's question is not the most like specific jiu-jitsu training related question, but it's one that I resonate with because it's something I experienced a bunch when I was younger, about guilt in regards to training. So the situation is that Aaron, the young guy, he's 21 years old, he's in the military, moved away a couple years ago, and since he's moved away, he's developed a lot of friendships with the people inside of his gym that he trains with because he's become obsessed with jiu-jitsu. And he says he also has developed a lot of relationships with the people he's in the military with out there in this new place. Now at the same time, he's trying to maintain the relationships back home with his friends there, and he says really the only way that they have some way to kind of hang out is they play video games together. Now here's the rub. He's struggling to maintain the relationships on both ends because he says that if he skips a night of training to go play video games, he feels guilty for skipping training because he's like, I should be training and getting better and this kind of thing. And then he says that if he skips going to play video games and hanging out with his friends, he goes and trains or hangs out with these people, then he says he feels like he's not maintaining these relationships and nurturing them, and so he's split and torn between the two, and he's just wondering if I have any experience with it, and if I do, maybe something that might help him. So brother, thank you for the question, and I have a lot of experience with it as far as this guilt goes, because when I was younger, like you, I got obsessed with jiu-jitsu and I started getting into this stuff, and I made a lot of decisions that made me feel guilty. So there was just one right out of the gate is with friends. I left a lot of my friendships, I sort of let them go, and it wasn't because I didn't like the people. But when I got into jiu-jitsu and I started to really think about what I wanted to do with it, I started like looking at my friends, and a lot of them were partying, smoking, drinking, doing drugs in some cases, and they would want to pull me into that kind of stuff, right? And I didn't want to. So instead of trying to maintain those relationships, I was like, if I hang out with you guys, I'm going to end up going this way, so I went this way. And again, I felt some guilt about that. I broke up with a lot of girlfriends back in the day because they would think they always thought it was really cool that I was doing jiu-jitsu. Like, oh my God, it's so cool that you're so passionate about something. But then once we got into the relationship, they would then start to kind of get upset with it because they wanted me to spend more time with them than the gym. And so again, I would have to leave because again, I'm a young guy. I've only got so much time to do this stuff and get good, so I got to do what I got to do. And so those were a couple situations where with relationships where I felt guilty. Now, here's the big thing that you got to do. And this is what I did. You got to figure out where that guilt is coming from. Is that guilt coming from you avoiding something you need or want to do? Like procrastination. A lot of times we feel guilty for procrastination because of that. We know we need to do it. We know we want to do it, but we kind of put it off. But there's also, at least for me, these are where the two main guilts come from, at least with me. I'm sure there's more, but the other form of guilt that I experienced a lot was when I was younger, was I was being told to do something I didn't want to do, and because I didn't do it, society or those around me made me feel bad about it. And that was the other one, right? And in the cases with the friends and the girlfriends, and even I took a year off from school because I had no clue what I wanted to do after high school. And it was the same way. I felt guilty about it, but it wasn't feeling guilty because of me. It was feeling guilty because of everybody else. And so in those cases, I gave myself permission to just do what I was doing, right? So when, my friends would kind of make me feel like crap because they would say, well, man, why aren't you hanging out with us anymore? Go to this party, go do this, whatever, go out and get drunk with us. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. I would keep going towards this path, and again, they would make me feel guilty about it, but I gave myself permission to do that. And so with you, brother, what I would think about, at least this would be my nudge towards you. My advice is based upon my experiences. If it works for you, great. If it doesn't, you don't have to use it. But what I would encourage you to maybe do is sit down and think about, like, where is this coming from in you? As far as the guilt goes, to maintain these relationships, do you really want to maintain them? Is this really what you want to do? Do you really, need to have these people right there, right now? Or are you doing it because you feel like you should? It's just out of sheer consistency. You feel like you should be maintaining these relationships because, right? And again, there's no right or wrong to it. It's your own experience, your own life. So what I would encourage you to do is make a choice. So if you decide to take some time off to play video games, give yourself permission to play video games. And look, you're not going to get worse at jiu-jitsu. It doesn't degrade that quickly. And taking a day off is not going to hurt you that bad, so it's okay. Take that time off. If you decide that you were like me and kind of a little bit nutty, and you're that into it, you're that obsessed with it, and you want to just do it a bunch, then give yourself permission to do that because that's what you want to do, right? Because you're a young guy, and again, you have your whole life in front of you. You are the master of your own destiny. So put some conscious thought into whichever way you want to go, and then whatever direction you decide to go to, give yourself permission to do that and just go with it. So that's what I would advise you to do, man. I mean, again, when I look back at all the things that I was doing, if I had let my guilt from other people direct me and direct where I would go to, I would not be here talking to you right now, and I don't think I would have become someone that I am happy with as much as I am today. So again, I would encourage you to follow your own path, your own gut, follow it, and then again, make a choice based upon the direction you want to go. So, Aaron, hopefully that's helpful to you, brother, and good luck with everything. And I'll talk to you guys next time.